Welcome back to GSN Sabres Franchise System Reboot, Episode 2 in NHL 23. The Sabres playing a couple of teams from up north. Big matchup to start this episode against the Toronto Maple Leafs, as both teams are competing for that number one spot in the Atlantic Division, and you can see early in the first, little turnover there, and it's going to be costly. Toronto at home, ready for this matchup. We knew this would be a big litmus test. Talked about this in stream. You see Toronto early 1-0 lead, and a little past the halfway point. Again, another turnover. Nylander comes up with the goal. So 2 turnovers into the defensive zone, and it finds Buffalo down 2-0 early. You see at the end of the first, the turnover there, that second one, Leonard scores. Toronto up 2-0 after the first period, and then unfortunately it didn't really get much better for Buffalo early on. You can see a little ahead of the midway point, quickly off the stick. Sabres on the road, hostile environment. Dave with the goal. It's 3-0. But the Sabres would be resilient. You can see skating in, Victor Olofsson gets the Sabres on the board in the second period. His 9th of the season. And you can see skating up behind the net and popping back and going wide. Just able to get it by. 3-1. And going to the third. See, the face-offs are a big story. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. Bryson, shot gets blocked, can't get it through traffic. See Casey, similar goal to the first, getting it on the goalie's left-hand shoulder, being able to go wide. The Sabres cut it to 2-3. Casey Middlestad getting another goal coming around, essentially a wraparound goal. Down 1. And we're going to go to late in the third. The last minute or so, the Sabres trying to make something happen. Unable to pull the goalie. A whiff there, and Simmons. Shot gets blocked. I think the Sabres are going up ice, but they can't. Simmons will get the ball, or the puck back, sorry. He gets his 4th for the season, and that essentially ends the game. He was a 3rd star. Toronto, 4-2 at home, dispatching the Sabres. They really did a good job of being physical early on. The Sabres ended up with more hits in this game, but Toronto really set the tempo, really physical. The face-offs, somewhat of an issue for the Sabres in the big picture on the season. Essentially outplayed in that 2-1. Not all the way, because it's it'd be 20-10, but 19-10. Got to win the face-offs. Got to get the puck out the zone, putting a lot of pressure on the defense. One good note though, Owen Power back in the lineup after having a minor knee injury, so that will hopefully boost the defensive pairings as he goes back to his original spot. Sabres, big loss on the road, but as it is with most things, try to wipe the tape and go back. Now 12-3-3, they're at Montreal, so staying up north. And even though they lose the initial face-off, you can see Alex is going to get the puck going up. You see Tage sneaking in on the right side. Alex finds him, and Tage immediately out the gates. Sabres up 1-0, his 12th of the season. Obviously Alex gets the assist there. A good job by Tage, just finding some space in the middle of the ice and quickly fires it by the goalie. So after a tough loss, getting early 1-0 lead, but unable to clear the puck. Anderson by Anderson, and the Canadiens tied up. So even though this is a lesser team, so to speak, they were really game in this one. They put the pressure on Buffalo. Well, later on in the first period, you see coming up the ice, Go hit into the boards, but Sabres able to get the puck, keep the puck in the zone, and it would pay off. Owen Power fires at the net. Jeff Skinner with the redirect, and the Sabres regained the lead in the first. Skinner's third of the season, not that many for him, but you can see Power, good job getting on the net, and Allen's not really able to see much there. 2-1 Buffalo. Big one here, and this would be impactful as you're going to see. Sabres called for a penalty. Rasmus Dahlin. Unfortunate, got caught with interference there. And you could probably guess by this being here, probably something bad happened after. And you can see on the power play about halfway through. Coming in. Nice 2-1 punch there. And Canadiens tie up the game. Power play goal. Johnny's 8th of the season. His 3rd power play goal of the season. It was 2-2. So going late. Maybe not late, but midway through the second. Tage. His 2nd goal of the season. Lucky number 13. I'm sorry, 2nd of the game. Definitely more than that on the season. 13th of the year. And Buffalo regains the lead 3-2. So being feisty. And at the end of the second, that goal gives Buffalo the 3-2 advantage as we go into the third. Late in the third, the pain. Anderson off the rebound. He's already had a goal earlier in this game. Comes up with a big one late in the third. Before you get to goalie pulling territory, he gets his 2nd of the night, his 3rd of the season. We're going to go late into OT. Sabres trying to make something happen in the last minute. Just something they struggle with a lot in this game. Not a lot of space to work with. Montreal did a great job of bogging down defensively and making it tough. You can see here just trying to find something. Alex hit as he's trying to get the puck at the net. Unable to. And the Canadiens wouldn't really be able to do much either. Alex probably saves a great opportunity there. And we're going to a shootout. Sabres have not been good in these. And what do you know? Boom. In the third round, Johnny comes up with the goal. And the Canadiens are going to get a win on home ice against the Sabres. So that's a 2-game losing streak in Canada. You see in terms of shots, just slightly outshot Buffalo was. Face-offs much better. He was a power play. Just not able to get the penalty kill there. Hurts the Sabres. Another thing of note in the third period, Canadiens did lose the face-offs, so that's good for Buffalo. They lost 7-2, which means obviously Buffalo wasn't doing as well early on. The problem was though Buffalo was unable to really generate shots. So coming out of these 2 games, the Sabres are in 2nd in the division, so 2 games fewer played than Toronto, but only 2 points back. Not the worst thing in the world. Ahead of Tampa slightly. Sabres are ultimately going to be fine. So up next, you got a really interesting set of games. St. Louis, New Jersey, and Tampa. See what the Sabres do, if they can bounce back and not let this turn into that usual annual slide that really sets their season on a downward spiral. So thanks for watching, and we'll keep up with the Sabres as they journey in hopes for a playoff spot. Take care.